So what are the challenges in automation testing using Selenium? So the pop-up windows. Pop-up windows means when you open an application, the pop-up windows will trigger. So to handle these pop-up windows, you should understand your alerts concept properly. So the Selenium has Windows-based alerts are so handled by alerts concept. If you don't understand when they are occurring and how to handle them, then it's going to be a bigger problem for you. Then your script won't run. That's one challenge. So in order to handle that, you have to use the alerts concept, then call the accept and dismiss methods to handle those alerts, Windows alerts. And second one is identifying a dynamic elements. So as I mentioned in the object identification, if your element attribute values are dynamically changing, make sure you use a proper XPath and CSS selectors. And so use contains starts with, ends with formulas or access XPaths to handle them sufficiently. So otherwise, your element always keep failing if you are not following that techniques. That's the one thing you have to use. So timeout or a sync issue. So most of the test cases will fail when there is a synchronization is missing. So when the synchronization is missing, the test cases will fail. So between your browser and application, browser and your automation test code, the sync is not happening, then obviously your test cases will fail. So you have to take care of this, syncing both your Selenium test script and web browser loading. You have to be in sync. So if your application is taking more time to load, then Selenium cannot wait there. You have to forcefully ask Selenium to wait. Otherwise, your Selenium will complain, I cannot find this element, so I cannot continue further. So it simply says element not found exception. This kind of issues you will see mostly in the Selenium, right? So those issues you have to handle with implicit waits and explicit waits. You have to use. So the implicit, explicit waits you have to include in the Selenium code. If you're not including, then that's going to be a problem here. Okay, so that's how you can handle this. This is the challenge. Timeout synchronization issue you will get. How you can handle. So by including the code. Which code? The implicit and explicit wait code you have to use. I'll explain this implicit and explicit wait code. In between the lines of code, you have to add. Whenever you are moving from one page to other page, make sure you wait for some element to check that. Before checking, you ask Selenium, wait until this element is appears. Wait until this page title appears. So you can tell that clearly. So wait. For all these elements loading, you can tell very clearly. So that the wait mechanism you can do with implicit wait and explicit waits. Okay. So that's how you can handle this. Cross-browser testing. So when you're testing the application, your use cases on different browsers, so like a different browsers, one browser it may work, one browser it may not work. You have to make sure it is working on all the browsers. Okay. So if one browser it works, other browser it is failing, just check that. What is the reason for failure? So why it is failing? So what reason it is failing? Just check that. Okay. And for example, some export is not working in one browser. The other browser it is not working, and it is working in one place. Make sure you put a common thing, right? In both the browsers, which is working, that one you can keep in the test script. So which is working actually, you can keep it. So that's the main concept you have to see. So this cross-browser testing when you're running. Basically, you have to change the locator, which is common to both. So both browsers, which is going to work at that locator, you have to use. Okay. Next, testing of mobile apps. So mobile testing, doesn't support by Selenium WebDriver, but Selenium protocol, WebDriver protocol, is available in the Appium tool. So there is a Appium tool which supports mobile app testing. So that you have to use to test the mobile applications. So as I mentioned, 6th point, page loading. So as we mentioned clearly in the timeout or synchronization issues, I already mentioned the sync is not happening between your application and your Selenium tool, and you will get a failures. So here also your page is taking more time to load. So what you need to do is you have to ask WebDriver, hey WebDriver, wait until my page loads. Then maybe this many seconds you wait. Then my page will load by that many seconds. Then once it is loaded, you continue. So no need to wait whatever the seconds I mentioned. For example, I mentioned 30 seconds, but page is loaded in 5 seconds. The rest of the 25 seconds, it doesn't wait. It will move on. That's the intelligent waits are our Selenium waits. So that's the one major advantage with the Selenium. You have a scalability. You can run your automation test cases on different operating systems and browser combinations. Suppose you created a test case on the Windows, same test case you can run on the Mac and Linux machines. So that is possible with the grid, right? Hub and node concept. You implement hub and node concept. Okay, hub and node concept you implement. Then obviously, so the node is each operating machine, right? You can configure your operating system to the hub. Automatically, it will be your test case will run. That's the scalability means. So you can run your test cases on different browser and operating system combinations. So this multi-tab testing, so now in Selenium 4, it becomes very easy because as I mentioned in the last class, I don't know how many of you read, there is a window type dot window type dot tab is there. How many tabs you open, you can directly move to that tab. So, but you have to understand how many tabs are opened by WebDriver, how you can switch to each window or each tab. You have to clearly tell that. If you're not able to mention properly, then that's going to be a problem. So you cannot handle them properly, how Selenium works. So Selenium handles those windows properly, but you have to understand that concept. How many windows are there? How you can switch to each window? That concept you need to understand. If you're not understanding and not handling properly, then your test case will fail. Then once you move to child window, you have to come back to parent window to do further actions. You close the child window and come back. That switching between the windows, you should understand that concept. So then if you're not understanding, and that's going to be a bigger mess up will happen and your test cases will fail. And limited reporting. So reporting is very less. So you have to depend on the TestNG and JUnit frameworks, then only it will work. I'm going to introduce very early this JUnit and TestNG concepts. That's where in the real time you will focus more on that areas. That's why we'll work on those areas only. Okay. And so next one, limited captcha handling. So Selenium doesn't support captchas. I don't know how many of you know captchas. These captchas are like this. Can you see here the captcha will come here? So this is the captcha. You have to enter this captcha value. So otherwise, these captchas are not handled by Selenium. That's another one. If you want, I'll show you rediff.com. Rediff registration page, you can find this one. So this is the captcha. B7LX. These captchas are not handled by Selenium because it's inside the image, the text. You cannot grab the text from images using Selenium. So that's why this is not possible. Limited captcha handling capacity is there, and Selenium supports only web-based applications. It doesn't support Windows-based applications, as I mentioned already in the limitations. Okay, so that's all about the challenges. So what you have. So you can mention